how do you make your classroom a safe space?
To make my classroom a safe space, I think the first step is to really establish recognition, to recognize my students. And so at the beginning of the year, I spend a considerable amount of time just trying to get to know the kids. And then just in the last couple of years, I've introduced an activity where we talk about our identity. And that can mean different things for different students. And so we kind of kick it off with this identity inventory where I talk about how important it is that we don't fit into these boxes necessarily that we get on the questionnaires and things like that. And so we spend time thinking about how do we want to identify, and then share that with our class. And we put it up. I have a couple of posters up with some of that information. And that's kind of the baseline: recognition, and then developing an idea of respect, which is my poster that I keep at the top of my smartboard.
How do you usually respond to hearing things like "that's so gay" or queer slurs in the classroom?
The way I respond when I hear someone call someone gay or say something is gay or any other kind of slur like that is to be immediately jumping right on it, because that's not okay. That language is not okay. To me, it's just the same as if you called something like someone's race or ethnicity, like background. It's just part of who people are, and so it's not a derogatory thing, and it shouldn't be used that way. So pretty much as long as I hear it, then I will say and do something about it.
All right. What is something you are still learning about working with LGBTQ students?
Oh, okay. I think the biggest thing with working with students is that I don't always know how they want to be referred to, and I wish that I think our community was open enough where those students could just tell me outright rather than feel like they have to hide it or feel like they need to do something different than what they would want. And so I think that's still what I'm learning, is how to approach that question of, do you want to be he, she, it, whatever.
Do you do anything proactive to stop homophobia in your classroom?
Proactively, I haven't done a lot unless it's very natural, unless it comes up naturally. And I guess what I mean by that is, like, I have my safe place signs in my classroom. I have them outside my class, or I did, so if they're not there, then I need to get them again. And when we do it at the beginning of the year, and like we're doing get to know you stuff, sometimes that will come up. And so that's what I mean by using, if it's an organic experience where it comes up, just whether someone has two moms, two dads, sometimes, or who knows what. If someone is commenting on the appearance of another student in the class, then we can address things right away. Otherwise, it's kind of hard just with everything else that we're supposed to do to proactively really tackle it, which doesn't mean I wouldn't. I guess I just don't think of it all the time.
Do you have any specific examples of when this may have happened? Not with names or anything, but an example of a time that you dealt with a homophobic or transphobic slur or use of the word gay in a negative connotation.
So my first year teaching, I had students that asked me about earrings, for example, and I have 2 earrings, and so and they were asking me why I had earrings, and I just said, because I wanted to. And I had another student that said, "Oh, well, I heard guys with 2 earrings are gay," and I could tell they were kind of moving in the direction of trying to make that sound like, "Ooh, that's such a bad thing," and I very deliberately didn't react to it. I was like, "Okay," and soon afterwards, I had students that were that kind of made the assumption that maybe I was gay, and tried to make a big deal of it, and another student came and asked me about it, and they just asked me the direct question if I was gay or not, and I said, "Well, it's none of your business. I might be," and I was just like, "But does it matter?" And it kind of shut them down a little bit. So that was a very passive way to deal with it, I think.
Have you always been an ally to the LGBTQ community?
Oh yeah, so I've always been an ally. I've never thought anything other than I guess, equality and acceptance for anybody. And I think a lot of that comes from my parents, and they always told me, like, if what somebody is doing or how they're living is not affecting anybody else, there's really no reason why you should judge. You should just live with them and appreciate them. So I think, yeah, from even an early age, I've always been an ally, and I've always stuck up for people who use like slurs and things like that, because I think kids especially don't quite know the hurt behind it, and so it's good to always do your best to educate them. And yeah, at first I get angry, but then you calm down, but it's okay, we're dealing with kids, at least as an adult now, so I'm a little better at just pulling the kid aside and saying, hey, maybe you shouldn't use terms like that because it's hurtful, number one, and I don't think you really understand what you're saying when you're saying things that are harmful, or that you don't think are harmful, at least. So yeah, always an ally.
Why do you think it's important to keep a safe place on school grounds?
So, as a principal of Denny, I think it's super important that our whole school be a safe place for all kids. When we talk about we all belong, that's really important to us, and we really need to make sure that all of us feel that we all belong at all times. So at Denny, we love all of our kids, and we want everyone to feel happy, to feel supported, to be learning as much as possible on the path to college, and to be supported emotionally and socially as well. So we all belong means that the whole school needs to be a safe place for everybody to thrive. So I'd like to give a special Denny shout out to our fantastic GSA for helping us once again to organize the Day of Silence. The Day of Silence is Friday, April 27th, and we are supporting this as a school. It's a great way for kids to take a stand and stand for something that is super important to all of us. Go Dolphins!